This show is brought to you in part by viewers like you who joined a Patreon or become YouTube members. Thank you. And if you could, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content.
Okay, so we talked about Shedeur Sanders earlier. Now we're going to talk about the other stuff going on with the Browns, some of the other players. How do they look in week one of the preseason? If you're new here, it's something I normally do, which is I look at the quarterback for one film breakdown, and then I look at what's going on around the quarterback for another film breakdown. So we got four focuses today: the secondary, the offensive line, the front seven, and the run game. And I think there were some positive marks in the run game, offensive line, the front seven. Secondary, not as positive, but we'll get here, right? So Sampson was in early, didn't really play that much. Couple of reps here from him. Just want to evaluate him real quick here. So they're pulling Tevin Jenkins into, what gap is that? A B? Yeah, it's B. No, that's C. They're pulling Tevin into C gap. Good block by Tevin. Pretty easy run for Dylan Sampson, right? Just follow your block. What I do like here, sustaining after contact, right? Grabbed by two defensive linemen, still up on his feet, still churning. That's what you liked out of him at Tennessee. We want to see that in the NFL as well. So nice run there, right? Nice rep. Second run of the day for Dylan Sampson. This one gets blown up. This isn't his fault, though. Jamari Thrash on the right side of your screen, he's supposed to down block on this corner. It's a horrific block. This is what I call a welcome to Walmart block. You're basically just helping him get downfield. Look, he ends up pushing him into the play. Horrific block here. Not what you want. You want to kind of affect him negatively, not positively. So Jamari Thrash lets 26 through. 26 kills the opportunity here, because if you look at the B gap, 74 and 71 in between their shoulders, they win that gap. That gap's open, right? 71 opens up that gap right there. That's what, Dylan is looking to get. He can't get it there because he has the alter, because 26 is in the backfield. And that pretty much kills the play, right? Probably going to be a successful run here. Jamari Thrash doesn't block. That knocks down the dominoes to kill the run play. Again, you ever want to know a way to look at the run game in the NFL or just in general? Think of it like dominoes. So many things have to be in the right place at the right time in order for you to have a successful run play. Like, it seems simple when you think about it, right? You're just handing the ball off to the running back and letting them cook. That's not at all what's happening, though, right? So you got a lot of moving pieces in place. Those pieces have to work in tandem, and all of that has to work out for you to get positive yards on the run. This is why running on third and short or fourth and short isn't the money play that people think it is, because it's real easy for one of these dominoes to fall and really screw up a play. But something as small as a wide receiver not doing a good job blocking destroys his run play, right? That's how easy it is. Another thing here, too, 67, Javion Cohen doesn't get off of 94 in time to seal up his gap, to keep 32 out the play, and then boom. Two dominoes fall, no run game happening. So whenever people talk to you like, oh, the run game's easy, you just push forward. It's not. That's not how it goes. Players I was more impressed with after looking at the film versus watching on broadcast: Amani Marshall, Alex Wright, Devin Bush. I was much more impressed with them after watching the tape. So that's good to be there. Why I was impressed with Amani Marshall. We're going to look at this run play. This is almost certainly stretch zone. I have the tight end coming to handle the far end here. Handoff here to Amani Marshall. This play has kind of been blown up. 69 or 68. The right tackle on this play does not do a good job of getting to that linebacker. It's absolutely hands on the back. Not a good rep for him, which kills the back cut lane, which could have been there, right? Again, wide zone. That's always an option. But the back cut's not there because the right tackle didn't do his job. They plug up the B, so you have to bounce up getting positive yards on that. It's another run play for Amani. 72 that probably should have been called. I don't know if they got called, but this is, I mean, hands to the face. Hands to the face. And then right here, I mean, that's a hold. That's an egregious hold right there. Yeah, that's an egregious hold there. So good rush by McGuire. Sam Kamara gets in there, and then good identification. I don't think Alex Wright is on the bubble. You know, I thought maybe there was a chance he's on the bubble after today. I don't think so. All right. Let's go back, rewind, see what happened here. So this is a good play by, is that Mason? I think this is Mason makes the play here. So good play by Mason, right? 50 was giving him some trouble. Right, the guard for Carolina is giving him some trouble. He gets double teamed too to start, but he does a good job of staying in the play, keeping his eyes up. Looking at Devin Bush, he walks up the A gap. Again, 50 gets on him, but does a great job of walking his lineman to where he wants to go. And you can see right behind him, Carson Schlesinger doing the exact same thing here, right? Guard gets to him. Swess walks his guard right where he wants to, and they both get a tackle for that. So great play by both of them. Is that Rico Dow? So run play here. What's happening? I think this is Alex Wright that makes the play. Same thing with Mason Graham. Mason Graham's there on this tackle. I'm tripping. Oh, man. But again, this is Schlesinger. Again, just doing a good job getting off his man here, getting to that run play. I think there's a lot to be encouraged about from what you saw in the front seven. You know, offensive line-wise, we're going to move on to them. I think of the offensive linemen that matter right now, and I think that's an important conversation to have, right? Because not all of these offensive linemen, unfortunately, are going to factor into this season because they're probably not going to make the team. Luke Whippler, Tevin Jenkins, I believe that's Cornelius Lucas. These three guys matter. Javion Cohen, probably on the practice squad. I have not even memorized my man's name over here. So, you know, just keep it in mind that I'm not going to care if something happens with this right tackle. He looks bad. It's not really my concern, right? The three guys on the right are more of my concern here. First is I want to look at Luke Whippler. I think he had a pretty good game. I'd be interested to see what PFF gave him, but pretty good game here. This is him in space. His job here is to get his hat on the head here with 56. Does a good job. Takes him out to play. I think Tevin Jenkins on this play does a good job too. Again, find somebody, hit somebody, boom. He gets 98 out the way. That clears some space. Hit that moving target. It's really hard to do when you're that big. So let's move on to the next play here. And end around. Why didn't this end around work? All right, let's look for the domino, right? Why did this end around not work? What happened? Well, who makes the play, right? So you're watching the end around. Okay, 89 gets tackled, gets 3D'd. Who 3D'd him? All right, 31, Devon Dudley'd him. All right, cool. So where was 31 at the start of this play? Okay, he's over at the top block. He got yelled at for that, for sure. This is a shit block. You can't have it. Can't have it, especially when you know the reverse is coming your way. You cannot have it. Got to sell this harder than that, right? Got to sell it. Because this is not a block. This is, come on now. You're definitely more capable than this. This should be embarrassing. Yep. And that's kind of what blows this whole thing up. I mean, they're not even asking Deontay Johnson to really block him. What they're asking is for Deontay Johnson to block him long enough. This is the crazy part of this, right? And why Deontay just has to simply just give a little bit better effort. They're already pulling Harold Fainen as the rap guy on this play, right? So they just need him to hold up long enough that Harold Fainen can get there and wrap that up, right? He doesn't even give Harold the opportunity to do that. Because look, Harold's trying to get there. He's trying to rap. And he's like, what the hell, dog? How is he already here? Yeah, so if that gets blocked up a little better, Harold's able to get to him. This is a huge play. You know, assuming that 89 is able to turn the corner on big 94 over there, right? Which isn't a guarantee in the NFL. Snap counts killed. Can't have that. What's happening here? Okay, Wepler. This is a little bit out of sequence. I don't know why it's in this sequence of plays. But this is a Whippler, again, I thought he had a nice day. Helping out with Javion here, the guard. Really good help there. Gets a good push. And then gets to the linebacker. Clears him out the way. You know, Javion does a better job on his man. He got the help and everything. He should be able to clear that guy out, right? Because Javion's struggling here, but this is more than enough help to be able to reset, anchor underneath, and be able to stick that guy where he's standing. So, yeah, 56 really did his job here. I think, you know, Javion just did not. So, love to see stuff like that, too. All right, let's go look at the corners. The corners weren't great. Cam Mitchell wasn't great in this one. I don't think Miles Harden was particularly good in this one either. I don't understand why Cam Mitchell is playing so far off right here. Because it seems like they're double mugging. So, two linebackers in A-gap. And then the linebacker's going to come out, basically run the pole a little bit, take the middle zone. So if you're Cam Mitchell, let me draw it here. If you're Cam Mitchell, right, you know that you basically got this wide receiver until he crosses past this zone because Schlesinger is going to take care of this area. So I don't get why you're playing so far off, worried about the top of the route here, right? Because he's worried about the top of the route and him breaking it off. I guess he's worried about an out because he doesn't have any help out there, but that's life for a boundary corner. He should be able to play that, understand, put his hips out towards the sideline. If he wants to cut it out, he's fine there because he has help underneath if this route gets cut this way. And then he has the safety slide to his side, so he's not worried about anything behind him. He shouldn't be this far off, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm not a cornerback expert. I'm just kind of looking at this and applying, you know, what I know about football to this. So maybe there's an explanation there for it. But my guess is that he's not supposed to be that far off because I just don't see how this is going to be a successful play, right? Like, Schlesinger is not going to get there in time. There's no linebacker in the world you can expect to get there in time, right? He's playing underneath. Why are you so far off? And then, hell, if you worried about the out, like, at least attack the stem. Like, were you worried about the post? I don't know. Just gives up a big play on 2nd and long. I don't think that's the design of the defense right there. This one here, I mean, like, you pick a guy who got beat. They all got beat. I'm going to focus on 26 and 29 because they're actually going to play this year. We go to the slot. We look at 20, I think it's 26 or 25, Miles Harden. He just gets cooked here by Thielen. So Thielen cooks him a couple of times here. First off the ball, Thielen just cooks him. Yeah, this little step, he gets him to commit with his hips, and then he runs away from him. Look at the space. And he's wide open. So Thielen cooks him pretty easily. Not encouraging. If you look at 29 on the other side, top of your screen, in between 20 and the 10 and the 20. So he's at the 15. I mean, just gets cooked here by 18. top of his route. Just cooked. Maybe he can recover. Maybe he can recover. The top here, I mean, that's not in general, not where you want to be as a corner, right? Right there. Maybe he can recover, but that looks like a touchdown to me, unless that quarterback is like late on the throw. Like if you're going up against Pat Mahomes or, Josh Allen or Tom Brady back in the day, and you get toasted like that, that ball is coming out right when you don't want it to, and that's going to be a touchdown, right? Big Ben back in the day, yeah, he's cooking that. It was Bryce Young, so Bryce just went for what was right in front of him. But boy, that's better. This one, top of your screen, I mean, Ted McMillan just cooks Cam Mitchell here. And look, man, I know Ted's the number 8 pick in the draft, and Ted's considered the best wide receiver in the class. I just think that a veteran starting corner, potentially in the NFL, should put up a better fight than this. I mean, who's the vet here, right? Like, damn. You in your 3rd year? You let him do you like this? I mean, full jump to the opposite side. Now, I don't blame him as much for this as I blamed him on that 2nd down one. Simply because at least he's cheating towards the right side of the field, right? Like, he has no outside help. So if he does cut it out, he is screwed. And you can make the argument Carson should be a little bit deeper in his depth at this point and be able to help with that. So this is partially on Carson Schlesinger, who, we've been talking about having a really good day. I think this is one of the negative plays that he had, because I would argue the way that Mitchell's playing that kind of tells me he's expecting inside help if this is a slant. And he doesn't really get any inside help. So maybe it's not all on Cam Mitchell. I would like for him to be able to land one of these blows, though, at the top of this, to be able to jam that up a little bit, to give your linebacker just some time here, right? Like, to get there. So, yes, Schlesinger should be there and should be deeper in his depth, but I think Cam's got to give him the time to get there too, right? So, got to do something. Got to get a hand on the rookie here, right? It's within 5. Whole play's within 5, right? So unless he's like crossed into the end zone, you're allowed to touch him, right? So put a hand on him right here, right? Stick him. When he puts that foot in the ground, if you think he's running that out, stick him, right? Slow him down. Instead, we don't get anything on him. He cooks you, and the only thing that stops you is that he drops this pass. Sees the ball go over his head, and what does he do? Oh, look, he makes a play, and then, bam, snacks the ball out of Ted McMillan's hands. Nice. That's being active, right? Yeah, you go to Rico. The ball, you see the quarterback gearing up to throw behind you. Okay, get to where the ball is, make a play on it. Boom. Nice stuff there. So, I think of all the corners that we saw today, I think Tony Brown has been the most impressive. I don't know how much that has to do with him being a veteran out there in the preseason game. Like, that might just be what it is. But I'm not very encouraged with Miles Harden. I'm not very encouraged with Cam Mitchell. I think they're struggling right now. And this preseason game kind of confirmed it to me. But that's my thoughts. The corners, I'm a bit concerned about them, but the O-line I thought had a pretty solid day. The run game I thought had a pretty encouraging day, and I thought the front 7 was very, very encouraging. So, overall, a pretty positive day for the Cleveland Browns. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Have a better night. Peace.